What's up, V-Games? What did I miss these past 4 weeks? Candace Owens went live with her own show and essentially has gone DEF-CON on the Jews. Something Kanye West couldn't pull off, but let's just be real. Can you take any guy serious that struts his wife around looking like an AI robot sex?
This is the moment. Bianca Censori stepped out under a clear raincoat with mask-clad husband Kanye West.
Donald Trump flips on his MAGA fans on one of the core issues that he's running on: immigration. Who would have thought that the Trumpster could be bought? But desperate times creates desperate measures. Ask E. Jean Carroll.
Lawrence, I wish I had said, I'll tell you my age if you show me your tax returns.
Fun fact, the Adult Survivors Act that passed in 2022, the law that allows nutcases like E. Jean Carroll to sue in civil court so easily, praised by Senator Kevin Parker, who also voted for this amazing law that allows anyone to come forward and get their revenge against their perpetrators. The idea sounds great, right? But the execution, not so much. Well, Senator Kevin Parker is now accused of being a predator himself by a former employee, and guess how he feels about the bill now. Kevin Parker argued in a court filing that the Adult Survivors Act was unconstitutional. Uh-oh, another black person who is now voting for Trump. What else did I miss? Oh yeah, the debate. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna cover that. I mean, what is there really that hasn't already been said? We all saw the terrible performance by Biden, which brings me to the good old George Clooney abandoning his good old friend Joe in a heartfelt op-ed that apparently pissed off Hollywood. But do we really care about what Hollywood thinks right now?
You have a chance.
You have an obligation
to be a part of that decision.
You might think it's not important. You might think you're not important.
But that's not true. And the only way we can prove that to you is by having lots of famous people.
Lots of famous people.
Lots and lots of famous people.
just a shit ton of famous people.
Oh yes, that's right. Trump bad, Biden good, vote Democrat. Why? Because professional liars told me to do so, because they know best for me. Sorry guys. I clearly still have some residual Democratic blood running through my veins. I've missed so much these past couple of weeks, and I missed y'all. But what can be unburdened by what has been? Still don't know what the that means. But anyways, I got these topics to cover and lots more. Let's go.
Here to show
Candace Owens, she is officially back, and there is no secret, I am fond of Candace Owens. My wife and I went from disliking her punchable conservative face to actually warming up to her cocky, cheeky delivery of factual information to eventually being one of the first people to drop $77 on supporting her new venture on Locals. Oh, the tides have turned. Seems like that's happening a lot these days, right people?
How feckless are the Democrats? If they realize that this guy could possibly lose to Trump, then get somebody else out there.
This woman knows how to market herself like no other. She rode the libtard wave until she grew up. Happens to all of us. I was in the same situation. Then she started waking us black people up to what was really going on in the black community. Like, where did my BLM donations go? And why did my church tell me I need to vote for Biden? But she did something no other black influencer has done. Told us to look ourselves in the mirror and hold ourselves accountable for our actions within the black community. Pull a Biden moment here. You gotta understand, that is something that we do not do. We just blame the white man.
White people, yay!
White people having fun.
It's easier that way. But she didn't stop there. She began riding the conservative wave until she annoyed too many Jewish supporters on a Daily Wire after the October 7 attack where 1,200 Jews were killed by Hamas. And instead of unconditionally supporting the IDF, she opted to remain consistent by not supporting the war and got fired. Allegedly. Ben, I said allegedly.
I appreciate you expressing your full genocidal intent for the Jewish people living between the rivers.
Like a true, strong Oreo, she rose from the ashes and went DEF-CON on the Jewish people with 3 words that shook the internet. And when I say the internet, I mean X. She said, the most hateful thing you could say to any Jewish person. Something that is so vile, so disgusting, so disturbing, and so anti-Semitic. She said, come closer, a little closer. She said, Christ is king. Saying Christ is king. The unthinkable, right? Can you believe that? Did she forget the 6 million Jews that died during the Holocaust and the 1,200 that died during October 7th? And let's not forget, we also lost 4 Jews in the 9/11 attack. So, Candace, if you happen to come across this little small channel, let me remind you of something right now, sister. 6 million Jews died during World War II. You say you don't support the IDF versus Hamas war, fine, but that means you are anti-Semitic, because remember, 6 million Jews died. Anytime you look up in history on World War II, the first page states 6 million Jews died. When you visit Dachau, Auschwitz, the Anne Frank house, or arrive at any airport in Germany, you will be reminded that 6 million Jews died in this country. Do you like driving on the Autobahn? Remember, 6 million Jews died for that idea. Come on, Candace. We don't care that 12 million others were executed during the Holocaust that weren't Jews, like the 9 million Soviets, the 1.8 million Poles. I feel like calling Polish people Poles, it sounds kind of racist, so I meant Polish people, but also saying Jews feels kind of racist too. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm back. And I hope it works out. And I hope people will graciously accept me back.
375K gypsies were killed, 3K Serbs, about 250,000 disabled people, thousands of political oppositions, and around 3,000 gays were killed. Most people don't know about it because 6 million Jews lost their lives in the various concentration camps. All because a little angry man had the gift of gab and the right time at the right place, full of vulnerable, desperate people who were able to be turned into monsters who were willing to sacrifice their culture for the hunger of one man's desire for world domination. Crap, this facetious commentary just got really deep here. Now that she's independent, she's more free to explore the topics and go down the conspiracy rabbit hole. Many turn out to be true, and once you actually look into these conspiracy theories, especially since we've reached a time where you will see more classified material be downgraded to unclassed and being released for public knowledge, but you won't hear the media talk about it because if you know about the history, you know why. And seeing that Candace Owens picked up this book right here. She read this book, lost her mind when she found out about the truth, and now she's got an insight into the world of intelligence, sparking a desire for truth, which ultimately will change her perspective on the reality of the life that we are currently living. It's like someone who lived a secular life, and then all of a sudden the light turned on and your perspective has changed. Looks like Candace Owens is simply discovering herself and somehow managed to monetize her growth, and currently it looks like she is slowly cementing herself as a Christian YouTuber, diving into the Roman Catholicism, which, by the ways, if you're seeking a way to live your life, I encourage everyone to go on YouTube, pull up a Catholic versus Orthodox Christianity video, and see which one's really holding true to historical tradition based off of Jesus' teachings. Tell you what, it is not the one that decided to readjust traditions based on the current fad. So with that being said, I am honestly enjoying Candace Owens' daily show on YouTube, but I'm also not oblivious to the fact that she clearly is hurt by the firing at the Daily Wire, especially since she seemed to really like being a part of that conservative movement. And I understand that the Daily Wire doesn't have the obligation to employ someone that they don't agree with. I understand that completely, but they definitely dropped the ball on this one. I definitely watch Brett Cooper though. She's funny. She's like the SME of transitions into advertisements.
Very narcissistic culture. We tell people that it's okay to just focus on yourself, but it's kind of exhausting and it's not healthy for any of us. I mean, that's why single people inevitably buy a bunch of plants and get dogs and feed them rough greens because they want somebody else to care about.
Smooth. Very, very smooth stuff. Very classy. I'm learning a lot from you right now, dude.
Nevertheless, she is free now. And it does seem like she does have a chip on her shoulder because in the end of the day, almost every single episode that she releases, it somehow ties back into Jews bad. I'm just being real. It's not that she's lying about everything. I mean, the stuff that she's presenting, it's factual information. It just looks pretty bad for the Jewish community. I'm just saying.
Everybody stop. Hold up.
So if you have a couple of bucks to spare and you want to support Candace Owens on her journey to discovering the truth, go on Locals and support her. It's just a support page, though. I want to warn you guys. I don't really think she gives any new material on Locals or anything exclusive. Either that or I don't know how to use Locals. Tech has officially Outgrown me. Next up, the DT. He did something that was so out of character that the MAGA supporters are about to drop to their knees and they're about to do the libtard scream. Yep, Donald Trump sold out to Silicon Valley, and I'm not seeing many people talk about it. That's why I rely on ground news. That was my advertisement. So Donald Trump recently appeared on the All In podcast, which, by the way, is an excellent podcast, but the Trumpster significantly changed his long-standing position on immigration. Previously, he was known for this.
We have just heard that Mexican cities, in order to remove the illegal immigrants from their communities, are getting trucks and buses to bring them up to our country in areas where there is little border protection. I have ordered another 3,750 troops to our southern border.
Hey, that's racist.
Wait.
And he has now shifted his stance, and he made a bigly promise to the All In podcast in Silicon Valley.
We need to recruit the best and brightest from the world. Every time we get somebody super intelligent from India or Europe, any country, that's
3 of us are immigrants, sir.
Yeah, and 3 of the 4 here are immigrants, the ones without the ties. And we can get these great people into our country, and that's a loss for our adversaries and our competitors, and it's a gain for us. But I've never heard you talk about this. Can you please promise us you will give us more ability to import the best and brightest around the world to America?
I do promise, but I happen to agree. That's why I promise. Otherwise, I wouldn't promise.
Liberals, you should love this H-1B because it's almost like the open door policy that we currently have. But instead of just the blue collar workers being screwed over, we now have the white collar workers that can get screwed over. That's capitalism for you, baby. You just got to save every single penny. So doesn't it make sense for you just to hire a newly graduated Indian from Harvard, pay him a fraction of the price that you would pay an American, and they won't even complain because their visa is tied to their sponsorship with you? It's the conservative way of life. But don't worry, libs. These tech moguls like you, and they put on the rainbow flag whenever demanded, especially if they can make money off of it.
Day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever.
It's all good. It's called democracy. Plus, the more immigrants that come here, the more we can wipe away all of the whites. It's a joke, white people. Relax. I'm not a Dr. Umar Johnson.
Release him to the bunny brigade. Don't save the snow bunny lover. We got to stop trying to save the snow bunny.
So if immigration was a key issue for you, well, I'm sorry to tell you this. You are officially out of luck. You either support illegal immigration on the southern border where you get a mix of refugees, terrorists, cartel members, and criminals, or you support illegal immigration by college farming, which I guess technically is not considered illegal immigration anymore. Let's just call it a legal loophole immigration policy for the wealthy foreigners. You get my drift? So you either have to deal with the incel loser engineers versus the criminal with a rap sheet. Who do you want your neighbors to get raped by? I'm just being honest. But let's be real. At this point, does it even matter if Trump flips on issues like that right now? It may actually affect us 5 to 10 years down the road, but I think we need to worry about our future later because right now, there won't be a future if this guy continues to run the country. It is literally weekends at Bernie's. Look, the libs are running out of ideas. They have to come up with something fast, and it's gotten so bad for them that they really are trying to push this Project 2025 narrative, which is this ridiculous conservative think tank that had over 80 conservative organizations spitting ideas, some good, many bad ideas, but nevertheless, it wasn't getting in traction because the ideas were really bad, but you wouldn't know that if you just watched the mainstream media.
I've actually been talking about this for about 4 years, and now it's getting a ton of media coverage. I just saw a stat that Google searches for Project 2025 have outpaced the NFL and Taylor Swift because people are tuning in.
Good.
Ironic.
Here's the thing, if you're watching mainstream media, you would think that Trump is sponsoring and supporting Project 2025. But he doesn't. In fact, his plans have already been solidified with the RNC and what he plans on going to do moving forward if he wins. It's 15 pages, y'all, and I'll put the link below. But that's right, my friends, the Republican National Committee platform has already adopted President Trump's 2024 Republican Party platform ideas. So, worry of democracy ending, we already played this game in 2020. We need to stop, okay? Worried about democracy ending, it already ended during this presidency. What are we talking about?
Dealing with
everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
In fact, if you read the 922 pages of the Project 2025, you will be surprised how many similarities there are happening right now in front of your own eyes with the Democrats. But, you know, if it's in your favor, it's a good idea. If it's not in your favor, it's extremist. Let's move on to something a little bit more heartwarming. Everyone's favorite humble actor until the dark night of March 27, 2022, when Big Willie took a stand and stopped bad comedy. Chris Rock made a bad joke that was beneath him, a joke that honestly wasn't worth a slap. Just saying, Chris, it wasn't. But Will Smith told the world that night that he had enough of being the nice guy. And he had to show the world that he is not to be f***ed with. I can relate. But his timing, the situation, the person he wanted to send a message to, it was all wrong. And it derailed his career until recently when Bad Boys 4 was released and it performed pretty well in the box office thus far. And if there's one thing we know about Hollywood, as long as you can make them money, they will welcome you back with open arms.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
And the best way to make a return is to use God to show the world that you have changed. And the best place to do it is on the respectable BET.
So what's on your mind?
Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election. Women's reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
If you are not familiar with BET, well, it's a respectable channel of black excellence where we celebrate the amazing achievements of black artists that otherwise wouldn't get the recognition they deserve. Take a look. This is just the opener for y'all. And if you're offended now, get ready for this.
It's never easy to say goodbye to those who influence us, but we can take a moment to celebrate and acknowledge their contributions to the culture.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is not black excellence. And if this is supposed to be black entertainment, I'm not entertained. And if this is the culture, well, f the culture, change the culture. But nevertheless, Big Willie made his transformation. He now walks with God.
I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but whatever's going on in your life, I'm here to tell you, you can make it.
Why does it look like hell? The whole imagery is very demonic. Like, visually, this dark. I forgot, this is Hollywood. We've seen this before. We've seen Sam Smith. We've seen Madonna. We've seen this whole visual representation. It makes sense now. No mention of Jesus whatsoever. Just God. Red flames, circle, eyes wide shut, characters above him, people in dark clothes and formation. There's no other way to describe this. It looks like hell. Oh, wait, here goes Kirk Franklin. Okay, I'm convinced he is praying to Satan. Yep. You know, at least Kanye West, when he did his whole grift, it felt a little bit more authentic. It felt a little bit more heavenly. His visuals were more heavenly. But like the comedian Jamie Kennedy said once,
all I'm going to say is I see Satan everywhere, like in all this imagery, and I see so much dark world stuff that I'm like, you know, that phrase, stay prayed up, like I kind of believe that now. So I don't know what I am, but I definitely believe that there's some dark forces out there, and I low-key believe we're in a spiritual warfare. But if you say that, people call you crazy.
And I see it everywhere as well.
You niggas are crazy!
But hey, this is the comeback for Will Smith. What do you think? But if this wasn't disgusting enough for you, the talented actor, rapper, writer, director, comedian, TV host Donald Glover got on stage and he said this.
Because it's just the math of the fact, because it doesn't really make sense. I have more Grammys than Will Smith, which makes no sense, but I have the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith. Does that make sense to you guys? Me and Sam Smith are neck and neck at the Black Entertainment Television.
This was good. It was almost like a Ricky Gervais moment poking fun of the obvious and to show the world that this awards ceremony is a joke. But then he began doing this.
If I have to like do, I don't know, Baby Boy or something, just let me know. I'll have Jonathan Majors put me in a headlock, shave my head. I'll do it.
Because P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no.
Begging to be part of this bullshit, to be accepted by this bullshit. The same people that didn't respect him as a rapper.
Like, I haven't really been like fully accepted as like as an artist.
I've never had nobody tell me Childish Gambino is their favorite rapper.
Until he dropped This Is America song. The same people that didn't respect him as a comedic actor and writer until he dropped
Atlanta.
And the same people that disrespected his family when they found out he wasn't married to a black woman. But he desperately still wants to be accepted by that crowd. The crowd that voted for Sam Smith as best artist at the BET Awards. What the fuck? Devil is working overtime because it seems like the devil is collecting all the IOUs with these celebrities. And speaking of celebrities, George Clooney did the unthinkable. He wrote an op-ed and it said the following.
Here's the headline. George Clooney, I love Joe Biden, but we need a new nominee. Put this poll quote up on the screen. He says, is it fair to point these things out? It has to be. This is about age, nothing more, but also nothing that can be reversed. We are not going to win in November with this president. Very unequivocal. On top of that, we won't win the House, and we're going to lose the Senate.
See, he's making the news because a couple weeks prior, Clooney, with the help of other celebrities like Julia Roberts and Barbara Streisand, hosted an amazing fundraiser for good old Joe, the big LGBTQ advocate.
I'm told gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
Fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
And they raised $30 million. And of course, Obama was there as well. So no wonder they got $30 million. Plus, he also needed someone to guide the old man. So it came as a shock to many when Clooney said he can no longer support Biden and that he should step down. Suspicious. It's like they have a bigger plan. I don't think a lot of people even really know about this, but let me explain to you what's really going on here. He's more than just an actor. He's part of this organization, a think tank. Not like Project 2025, a think tank that actually has a lot of power because it's been around for decades. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. George Clooney is not just an actor. He's a politician. And technically he's not a politician either, but he acts like one, and he's part of the Council on Foreign Affairs, an organization that has a lot of influence in several areas.
For 100 years, the Council on Foreign Relations has been helping America play a vital part on the world stage. The Council has served as an invaluable resource for its members, policymakers, and the public by publishing bold new ideas, providing research and a forum for debate, and proposing policies.
And guess what? There are a lot of members that are part of this organization. You may know some of them: Condoleezza Rice, Robert Rubin, David Petraeus, Samantha Power, Michael Bloomberg, the Clintons. Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
What? No, not really.
And as for professional liars, you got Angelina Jolie, George Clooney, and Michael Douglas. Did I just expose something here? This, my friends, is called the elites. The people that you praise, the people that you put on a pedestal are part of this organization, which, by the way, this magazine is awesome. Democrats, stop acting like you are being oppressed. You're not. You are the elite. Hollywood, stop pushing your bullshit agenda. You are the elites. So what are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. Am I looking a little bit too deep into the Council of Foreign Affairs? Am I giving them too much validity?
You fascinate me.
You tell me in the comments, let's engage. And also check out my community board. I don't really have social media like that, and if I do, it's locked down for my friends and family only, but I do post things on my community board. But there is so much to cover and so little time. But if you enjoyed this episode, give me a thumbs up and give me that HBO special and smash that like button. Until next time, you were watching Intelligent Observer. I know a lot of shit sometimes matter and doesn't matter. And today's episode definitely matters. Until next time, off. That was very rude. I've been going with the one love, now all of a sudden I'm back to the FU. I'm sorry, guys. This episode was a lot, you know.
Baby, you give me ice and fire.